Here we are at the end of Black Ops 2's Victus storyline. We see the fate of the Victus crew go one of two ways: the Richtofen ending or the Maxis ending. The canon ending, however, belongs to Maxis, where he dooms Earth and all of its inhabitants. So what does that mean for the Victus crew if we clearly see them in the Blood of the Dead intro cutscene? And yes, I've used that term literally 90 times in the past few videos, and honestly, I'm almost tired of it, but it's just, there's so much I like to cover. Hey guys, it's at the moment Sony, and today we're going to be talking about how the Victus crew got from the end of Buried to Blood of the Dead, because there's this comic series that occurred with these characters in it, based completely on them. So I'm going to give you a little quick summary as to what you guys missed out, so that you don't have to go buy these comics. And I mean, it'd be nice if you did, to support them, or try to watch 20-minute videos for each comic book that all of the YouTubers made. We're gonna give it to you straight. We're gonna give it to you quick. So for those who don't know exactly what happens in Buried, I'm going to read you a little bit of a quick sum, and this is with the date and semi-specific. So here's a quick summary. So Victus arrives at an old western town now located beneath a mining facility in Angola. They discover Arthur in a jail cell. He assists them on their journey. The voices of Maxis and Richtofen return. They activate the final polarization device, or the towers that we've been activating the whole time in BO2's Easter eggs, but we activate it in Maxis' favor. All three of them are activated in Maxis' favor now, and now he's corrupted by the Dark Aether. So when Maxis is corrupted by the Dark Aether, he reveals his true intentions to Victus and punishes Richtofen by trapping his soul in a zombie. Drawn into Agartha by her father, Samantha witnesses the evil that has corrupted him. When a rift opens in Dimension 63 in 1918, she reaches out to that timeline's Maxis for help. Now, that last little bit may be confusing to you. That's the beginning of Origins, and that's how we know Origins happens directly after Buried, chronologically speaking, not with years, but with experience and how these things actually happen, with our characters. You guys know what I mean. So that happens, and we're not going to go into what happens with Origins. You already know. But then after this, January 19th, 2036, Primus Richtofen begins to manipulate Samuel Stuhlinger, one of the characters in the Victus crew, and he opens a rift for Victus to begin their new journey. Pursued by undead Richtofen and an army of the undead, Victus enters the rift. Now this is where things get interesting, because everyone thought, oh, after Buried they died. Kind of like how everyone's like, well, at the end of Moon, the Ultimates crew died. And I mean, it's more likely that the Ultimates crew died on Moon, but now we actually have something occur 19 days after the events of Buried. Now, what happens between these two events and these 19 days is anybody's guess, and I'm sure we won't know, but, that is probably not super relevant. But then we jump to June 24th, 1996. Victus arrives at the abandoned Broken Arrow facility. Still being pursued by undead Richtofen, they recover the Element 115 shard and depart through another rift. So basically cutting out all the fluff and filler in this time. Basically we see that they go, and there's a bunch of nostalgic stuff hidden in this Broken Arrow facility, like a copy of one of the staves, and the bus driver Ted from Transit, he is in there, but that's completely different. But after this, they go through another rift, and then it's the Chronorium retrieved. Upon arriving at Zero Base, Victus provides blood samples that will allow them to access the empty Earth and recover the Chronorium. We see them get into tubes, they give blood samples, and then July 4th, 1941, Richtofen returns to the lab under Alcatraz, where he meets Victus, arriving from the empty Earth with the Chronorium. Upon reading the Chronorium, Richtofen discovers numerous timelines documenting their fates and learning about the blood vials. He would later write on that page, "I know what I must do." Edward Richtofen, 4/71/41. Richtofen enters a rift to acquire the blood of Sal and Finn. After delivering the blood to his younger self In recovering the blood vials belonging to Victus, he returns. Victus is placed on ice to be kept until they are needed next. Now that ties into a lot of my previous videos, so you definitely want to watch starting from the Blood of the Dead intro analysis all the way to here. You want to watch all of those in a row. So I suggest you go watch those if you haven't already, because a lot of this won't make too much sense if you haven't seen it from that point. So basically, here's the deal. You now know what happens between the comics, and you know that the blood vials are given from Victus to Richthofen, and then Richthofen gives other Richthofen blood vials. Everything now wraps up in a nice little bow. You know how everybody got the blood vials. You now know why they're at Blood of the Dead. You now know what their relevance was, but if you see, there wasn't too much that they did. So if you guys remember the video where I talked about how Victus might replace Primus, let's hope that they don't, because they didn't do much here, and the comics were cool, but didn't really give much development to their characters, in my opinion, and I still don't like them. But if you guys learned something new, make sure to leave a like, and if you did enjoy this video, also leave a like and comment suggesting another video to do. I will see you all in the next one, and I hope you have an amazing day. This is At The Moment Tony, signing out. Peace.